Welcome back to another episode of Gregtech Community Edition Modern. I am pretty excited for today. Honestly, every single one of these multi-blocks we've been working on has made me excited, but then the spray paint thing has made it even better. It's one of the things I'm like so happy about. As you can see, I grabbed another spray paint, so I'll be able to add another thing to this. I'm hoping those blocks are done. It looks like one of them is, so go ahead and add ourselves a third bus. And figure out which one we're going to do next. Because we've got ourselves the rods, we've got ourselves the gears. And now we just got to go pick and choose what we want to do next for our extruder. I think the big gears would probably be a good one because that one's also not used as frequently. So we'll go ahead and grab that out. We just need our wrench. And we'll switch it out for our pattern provider. The one we got downstairs. We want to make sure we put in our mold first this time. So put our mold in first. Put that on there and slap in all of our gear molds. And now we've got a third one that this one can do. Now, I did grab more specifically for this, but at the same time, the next machine we're going to be doing will actually have exactly 3 buses, so a third paint is really good. So we've got ourselves our extreme voltage transformer here, which I can use that to route power back up to here and over to here. And so we're actually going to throw our next machine right over here so that we have a way to get to it. That one today is going to be our large material press. This one was a doozy. So it is a 3x3x7. But the problem that I saw with this block is not the size of it. The problem is that the requirement for it, if I can recipe, it requires each of the IV machines. The compressor, the forge hammer, the elite bender, and the forming press. So it's expensive because each one has to have its own circuits. And then you're only going to end up using it for one of those 4 processes. It's a little expensive for that. But nonetheless, we still want it as it's going to help us with our autocrafting being much faster than before. So let's go ahead and equip it up here. We're going to make it at least... I always like to make a 3-block gap between the machines. Though I do think we're going to go ahead and bring it over here so that it can be closer to where we put our power. 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is where we're going to need some more stuff later. Because we are now off the edge. But we need our tempered glass, like the other one, right there. Let's go ahead and put these pieces here. And 1, 2. And then we can have our inputs on the back. And our output probably come right there. So we can do 1, 2, 3 inputs. So let's do that. 1, 2, 3 inputs. Output right here. And then right up front is where we'll do our casings. We haven't checked it to make sure that we can put it there, but I'm pretty sure a lot of these multi-blocks tend to be a little bit more lenient with where we put stuff. So I want the power there. I want the maintenance hatch and the parallel hatch right there. Now, the one difference on this one is that you need yourself some gearboxes, and it is only 3 of the gearboxes that go right there. And then the other thing we gotta check is inside. It looks like there's a 1 block inside, as you can't click on anything there. So we do need that sealed there, and then we just gotta fill in our top. And this uses that same stress-proof casing that we used in the previous multi-block. And now, if we go ahead and spray all of our buses, is that gonna work? Is there a block that it doesn't like? Maybe? Let's see. Not missing anything. We've got the parallel, maintenance, power, input, output. Ooh. Okay, no. Power can go there. Hmm. Yeah, it says it can be anything there. If I pick up and replace now, will that work? Make sure we got that placed right. That is placed right. Power. Yeah, those 3 are placed. Those are all placed. Hmm. I guess this is where we check if it doesn't accept multiple buses, even if they're colored. So, if that's the case, no, not too much of a worry. No, I'm missing something. What am I missing? Maybe it doesn't like these blocks here. Well, I see what the problem is, guys. I don't have the energy hatch. That's pretty funny. I thought I did, but that is clearly not an energy hatch. It's like, it doesn't make any sense that one of them's gonna work, but the other one's not. Distinct, distinct, distinct. Have that for something else later. Energy hatch. Oh, that's something pretty silly there. Okay, so now we can put these back and go start getting our stuff to shuffle on in over here. We wait for that. Bring our power back really quick. Ooh. So let's start shuffling over our patterns, because I know that it's going to take some time with the fact that got a lot of patterns from specifically the the tier 1 vendor that has all of our plates as well as our coils. So we need to find that right there. And there's our first one to remove. And look at all those extra patterns. So let's go back to this one. Then a few. Oh, there we go. Let's go put that one away. Put down. And our first one. dump in all of our plates. And more of our plates. And then we'll do our coils all the way at the end. Don't have as many of those, but we still have those as they are important. And then we should be able to grab the other two, no problem. There's not quite as many. You know, I started grabbing without checking to make sure we didn't need any more of that stuff. Okay, we're good. Boom, boom. Oh, I just realized we do have to do something with those buses that I forgot. So this one needs to be set to 1. The foil, I think, is a 10? Is a 10. So we need a 10. Place that on there. Do all of our foils. And then the 2 for the last one. And plop in the few double plates that we need. The last thing we need now is an interface, just so it can return the items. And then we can join it all up with cables. Maybe we also make this look a little bit nicer. There we go. Much better. Okay. So that should satisfy what we're doing here. Now, we just need that energy hatch, which looks like it's still struggling to figure that out. Let's go see what exactly is going on. What are we waiting for? A neodymium ingot, and this one's waiting for a tungsten. Something's up with those not working. Are we out of power here? Is that why? We were for a second. There's our tungsten. Hey. Yeah, this is one of the reasons I do want it to be all on one big massive grid. Because luckily, currently, this isn't going to drain too fast. We got like 7 to 13 days, depending on which machines are active right now. Probably a little bit shorter than that, considering some of our autocrafting is now off of this. But probably turn one of these on to let it continue to charge. And now in 27 hours it'll be full. So just didn't want both of them on as we ran out of that gasoline. We don't want to be running off of 0 gasoline. That was quite a terrifying sight. And don't worry about that. That's for another episode. Figured I'd get some of that stuff going. Might as well use the time that I have. And as soon as we get that power module, we'll be able to plug it on in. There we go. Nice. Okay, so now we got to test this by, I guess we can go ahead and start crafting the thing for our next episode. How many of those do we need? And end up needing 56 of them. So we can go ahead and go up to 50. It's 56. And start. So it's going to take a second as those satellite ingots are not fast crafts. How much do we got here? Actually, much faster than I expected. Only 63 seconds. That's probably due to an overclock, which is good. Let's go ahead and find ourselves another battery while we wait. But, so that actually now takes these out of the systems entirely. So we can go ahead and pluck out each of these machines. I move on to recycling them. So let's throw our extruder in. That's going to yield us back 17 stainless steel. Oh, and this is eating all the energy. I guess we could do this. But 17 stainless steel, 8 Canthal, and 4 Electrum with 2 more silver. And then we can throw our benders in there as well, which I don't think are going to yield back the Canthal, because I don't think the benders have any of that in there. But we'll still get Electrum back, we'll still get stainless steel back, which is all really nice. Recycling our machines instead of just letting them sit there. And now we should actually have a couple batches of those going through here shortly. Be able to come back over and watch them go through. Wow. That's fast. The only thing is it looks like it's only making one of them at a time. Which I find a little bit interesting that it's only doing one. Only reason I could think for that... No, it's not on an interface. Oh, it's this. It's because they're not making it quite as fast. But it is much faster craft, so now we don't have to stress about it sitting there for... The bender would sit there for a couple more seconds a piece. Let's look at the recipe for those plates. Yeah, 4.2 seconds at LV. So HV would be at 1. EV is at 0.5. So that is literally half a second for each one of those. A much faster craft on those. The actual throttle now is going to be our taking care of freezing the ingots, which means that we can now up those to increase our capacity. I would say the only other thing is the blast furnace is another bottleneck, but I just have to make some more of those to accommodate this. I've actually figured out exactly how you'll do the P2P, because this will be the P2P crafter part, basically. Just switch it out so that these still interacts with the interface. It goes to the 2 buses, so... You could also spray paint it, which is the other thing I thought about. It was kind of cool. As you can see, I am working on other spray paint over here. I'm gonna stop letting it output, and we'll start on some gray spray paint next. So, anyways, with that bender up and running, that means that our auto crafting will be that much faster. I still can't be, my opinion can't change on the whole fact that these are just so much cooler than the other ones. I've always liked the idea of multi-blocks in Minecraft. Just some of the coolest stuff ever. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate every single one of you that takes the time to watch my videos. Would also like to say, please leave a comment in the comment section, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys all next time. Bye!